My name is Trevor, and I discovered my life savings had vanished while standing in line at a grocery store trying to buy milk for my daughter's breakfast. Card declined, the teenager behind the register said, not unkindly. Want to try another one? I frowned, pulling out my debit card. We kept at least $50,000 in checking at all times. My wife Catherine was paranoid about overdrafts. But the second card was declined too. Must be a system error, I mumbled, fumbling for credit cards. My hands were starting to shake. Behind me, a line was forming. Someone coughed impatiently. The credit card worked, thankfully. But as I walked to my car, groceries in hand, a sick feeling settled in my stomach. I pulled out my phone and opened our banking app. Checking account balance, $4.67. Savings account balance, $0. I stared at the screen, refreshed it, stared again. $300,000. Gone. My first thought was identity theft. My second was to call Catherine. She answered on the third ring, her voice bright. Hey babe, how's the conference? I was supposed to be in Seattle for a tech conference, but my flight had been canceled due to weather. I decided to surprise Catherine and our daughter Lily by coming home early. Now, standing in a grocery store parking lot, I wondered if I was the one about to be surprised. Cat, I'm looking at our bank account. Where's our money? Silence. Then, barely a whisper. What do you mean? I mean we have $4.67. Where's the $300,000 we had yesterday? Of God. Her voice cracked. Of God, Trevor. They said it was an emergency. They promised they'd put it right back. Who's they? But I already knew. There was only one they who had access to our accounts. My in-laws, Robert and Diane Walsh. Catherine had added them as authorized users 2 years ago when her father had heart surgery. Just for emergencies, she promised. Just in case something happens and they need immediate access to funds. I protested initially, told her we could wire money if needed, that giving them direct access was unnecessary. But Catherine had cried, talked about how her dad almost died, how she needed the peace of mind. I caked like I always did when she cried. Come home, Catherine said. Please just come home and we'll figure this out. The drive home was a blur. I kept thinking about that money. 5 years of bonuses, careful savings, investment profits, all sitting in that account waiting for the right investment property. We'd been planning to buy rental properties, build passive income for Lily's college fund. $300,000. Gone. Catherine was waiting in the living room, laptop open, tears streaming down her face. They bought a vacation home, she said before I could speak, in Florida. They used our entire savings for the down payment and closing costs. I sank onto the couch, legs suddenly unable to hold me. They stole $300,000 for a vacation home. They said it was an investment opportunity that wouldn't last, that they'd refinance next month and pay us back with interest. She turned the laptop toward me. Then they posted this an hour ago. Instagram. Robert and Diane grinning in front of a massive beach house. The caption, dreams do come true. After years of hard work, we finally own our piece of paradise. Hashtag beach life, hashtag blessed, hashtag vacation home, hashtag retirement goals. The comments were full of congratulations. Friends and family members praising their success. Someone asked how they afforded it, and Diane had replied, smart investments and the grace of God. The grace of God, and their daughter's bank account. Call them, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Right now, speakerphone. Catherine's hands shook as she dialed. Robert answered on the second ring, his voice jovial. Katie girl, did you see the pictures? Isn't it gorgeous? Dad, where's our money? What money, sweetheart? The $300,000 you took from our account. Oh, that. His tone shifted, became dismissive. We borrowed it for the down payment. Like we told you, we'll pay you back next month when the refinancing goes through. This property was about to get snatched up. We had to move fast. You told her. I couldn't keep the anger from my voice. When? Because she sure as hell didn't tell me. Trevor? Robert sounded surprised. I thought you were in Seattle. Flight was canceled. Good thing too, or I wouldn't have discovered you robbed us until I tried to pay for the hotel. Robbed? Diane's voice came through, shrill and offended. How dare you? We're family. Family helps family. Family asks before taking $300,000. Catherine gave us access. We assumed that meant we had permission to use it when necessary. Necessary? I was standing now, pacing. A beach house is necessary. It's an investment, Robert said, his tone condescending. You young people don't understand. This property will triple in value in 5 years. We're doing you a favor. Then why didn't you use your own money? Silence. Then Diane. Our credit isn't what it used to be. A few missed payments here and there. Banks are so unforgiving these days. Catherine made a small sound, pain or realization, I couldn't tell. Mom, Dad, you said you'd pay us back next month. How? If your credit is bad, how will you refinance? We'll figure it out, Robert said breezily. Maybe you could co-sign. I hung up. Catherine stared at me and burst into fresh tears. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I never thought. They're my parents. I never thought they'd. Part of me wanted to comfort her. The other part, the larger part, was calculating how many years of our lives had just been stolen. But before I could speak, my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mr. Morrison, this is Agent Sarah Coleman with the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. I'm calling regarding some suspicious activity on your bank accounts. Are you available to meet? My blood turned to ice. The FBI? We were just about to call the police. Sir, I appreciate that, but this is part of a larger investigation. Can you and your wife come to our field office within the hour? And bring any documentation you have regarding Robert and Diane Walsh's access to your accounts. The field office was a nondescript building downtown. Agent Coleman was younger than I expected, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She listened to our story without interrupting, occasionally making notes. Here's what you don't know, she said when we finished. Your in-laws have done this before. Multiple times. Different states, different family members, always the same pattern. Get access to accounts for emergencies, wait for the right moment, then clean them out for real estate purchases. Before? Catherine's voice was small. They've done this before. 4 times that we know of. Your aunt in Texas, they took her retirement fund. Your father's brother in Michigan, cleaned out his children's college funds. 2 cousins in Ohio and Nevada. Each time they promised to pay it back, then claimed the properties are family investments that will benefit everyone. But no one ever said anything, Catherine protested. Because they target family, because they promise to repay, because people are embarrassed, and because, until now, they've been smart enough to take amounts just under federal reporting requirements. Coleman leaned forward. But $300,000? That triggered automatic alerts, and the pattern of behavior across state lines makes this our jurisdiction. So you'll arrest them? I asked. We're building a case, but I need your help. She slid a document across the table. We want to record your next interaction with them. Get them to admit to the theft, discuss their pattern of behavior. With your cooperation, we can end this permanently. Catherine grabbed my hand under the table. What about our money? Once we freeze their assets, including the property, you'll be first in line for restitution. But Mr. and Mrs. Morrison, I need to be clear. Based on their history, they're likely already planning their next move. Who else in your family has given them financial access? We exchanged looks. My brother, Catherine whispered. In California, Dad helped him set up a trust for his kids, has full access. Coleman nodded grimly. We'll need his information immediately. The next 3 days were a whirlwind. FBI technicians wired our house. Catherine called her parents, begging them to come over to discuss everything calmly. They agreed, probably thinking she'd convince me to let it go. I'll never forget the moment they walked into our home. Robert wearing a new Rolex. Diane carrying a designer purse I'd never seen before. Both tanned from their beach house shopping trip. They looked like successful retirees, not serial thieves who preyed on their own family. Trevor, Robert said, extending his hand like nothing had happened. Let's discuss this man to man. I shook his hand, knowing the FBI was recording everything. Sure, Robert. Let's discuss how you stole $300,000. Borrowed, Diane corrected, settling onto my couch like she owned it. And frankly, her attitude is very hurtful. We're trying to build family wealth. By stealing from family members? Catherine's voice was stronger than I expected. Agent Coleman told us about Aunt Beth, about Uncle Stan, about Jenny and Michael. The color drained from their faces. Who's Agent Coleman? Robert asked. But his voice had lost its confident edge. FBI, I said simply. Financial Crimes Division. Turns out stealing from family members across state lines is a federal offense. Who knew? Diane stood abruptly. We're leaving. Sit down, Mom, Catherine said coldly. For once in your life, you're going to explain yourself. What followed was 40 minutes of the most narcissistic justification I'd ever heard. They weren't stealing. They were consolidating family resources. They weren't lying. They were protecting less financially savvy relatives from bad decisions. The properties weren't theft. They were family investments that would benefit everyone eventually. And what about the Rolex? I asked, pointing to Robert's wrist. Is that a family investment too? I deserve nice things after working hard all my life, he snapped. With other people's money? That's when Diane made the mistake that sealed their fate. You're being dramatic. It's not like we killed anyone. So we moved some money around within the family. Big deal. If Catherine hadn't married someone so controlling, this would all be fine. Controlling? I laughed, actually laughed. I'm controlling because I don't want you to steal our life savings. See? She turned to Catherine. This is what I mean. He's turned you against us. Family is supposed to support each other, not involve the authorities over every little thing. $300,000 is not a little thing, Catherine shouted. It is when you consider the big picture, Robert said. That beach house will be worth millions someday. Your children will thank us. Our children won't have college funds because you stole them. Borrowed. Both in-laws said in unison. That's when I played my last card. Okay. If it's borrowed, sign this. I pulled out a document I'd had my lawyer draft. It's a simple promissory note. Says you'll repay the full amount within 30 days at market interest rate. Should be easy if you're really planning to refinance. They exchanged glances. We don't need some formal document between family, Diane said. Then you won't mind signing it. This is insulting, Robert stood. Come on, Diane. We don't need this disrespect. They made it to the door before the FBI moved. 6 agents, appearing as if from nowhere. The look on Robert's face as they read him his rights was something I'll never forget. Shock melting into rage, melting into fear. You set us up. Diane shrieked at Catherine. Your own parents? You stole from your own daughter, Catherine replied, tears streaming but voice steady. From your granddaughter's future, from everyone who loved and trusted you. As they were led away in handcuffs, neighbors watching from windows, Diane turned one last time. We'll never forgive you for this. Good, Catherine said. That makes us even. The aftermath was swift. The FBI found evidence of 2 more victims we didn't know about. The beach house purchase was frozen, along with their other assets. Turns out they'd been living entirely off stolen family money for years, moving from relative to relative like financial vampires. The investigation revealed the full scope. Over $1.8 million stolen from 8 family members over 6 years. Each victim had been told they were the only one, that it was a one-time emergency, that the family investments would make everyone rich. We got most of our money back after the assets were liquidated. Not all, legal fees and time value ate into it, but enough to restart our plans, our dreams. Catherine's brother managed to freeze his accounts before they could touch them, thanks to our warning. The hardest part wasn't the money. It was watching Catherine grieve the parents she thought she had. The ones who loved her, who would never hurt her, who just needed help occasionally. Those parents never existed. Robert and Diane were sentenced to 5 years each. Federal prison, no parole. They tried to play the elderly card, the health card, even the we're family card one last time. The judge wasn't moved. You betrayed the most fundamental trust, she said during sentencing. The trust between parent and child. You didn't just steal money, you stole faith, security, and peace of mind from those who loved you most. We don't visit. Catherine tried once, but they spend the entire time blaming her for their situation. They've written letters, long, rambling things about forgiveness and family unity. We don't read them anymore. Lily's too young to understand why she doesn't see her grandparents anymore. Someday we'll have to explain. For now, we just say they're away. It's not a lie. They are away. And they're staying there. The beach house sold at auction last month. A nice retired couple bought it, planning to make it their forever home. Catherine found out through a cousin and cried for hours. Not for the house or the money, but for the family that could have been if her parents had been different people. Me, I learned 3 lessons. First, Love and blood don't guarantee trustworthiness. Second, when someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them, not their words. And third, family isn't who you're related to. Family is who shows up without stealing from you, who helps without helping themselves to your life savings, who loves without a price tag. Catherine's building that family now. Friends who've become sisters, mentors who've become mothers, people who prove every day that you can choose your family, and sometimes that choice is the greatest gift you can give yourself. The FBI agent Coleman sent us a message after the trial. Simple, professional. Thank you for your cooperation. Your courage stopped them from hurting anyone else. Catherine framed it. It sits on our mantle where family photos used to be. A reminder that sometimes the hardest thing to do is also the rightest. That protecting others sometimes means confronting the ones you love. That family isn't about blood. It's about trust. And trust, once shattered, can't be rebuilt with Instagram posts and empty promises. It can only be earned, one honest moment at a time. With people who understand that love means protecting each other, not preying on each other. We're building that family now. Without them, without their poison dressed up as love, without their theft disguised as help. And honestly, we've never been happier.